Welcome along to the Army List Analysis series. We are looking at armies in the Bronze Age stroke Iron Age. I'm using 1400 points, which is what we use in the League. Just a word on pronunciation. I'm going to say Cimmerian, which is what we say apparently in French and English. In the Greek and Latin, I think it's more of a K sound. So just to get that out of the way, a little bit of housekeeping and updates for you. I made a mistake. I said there were no allies in the League, and apparently there are. Now, as of today, I've done 4 videos. I've covered the Egyptians, which don't have allies, so that's all good. The Sea Peoples and the Assyrians do, but there's minimal change. I had a look at the lists, minimal change. I think with the Assyrians, there's a list that offers 1 foot guard unit, so it's debatable whether to take allies or not. And it was just with the Cimmerians, with the Elamites, you get access to about 11 massed archer units, which can be quite useful. So yes, I would say with the Cimmerians maybe to take them out as allies, the Elamites. What I'm going to do, I'm going to update these videos and post corrections in the comments. So I've already done that for those videos. I've pinned up some messages about allies and what I would do about allies, so you can check those notes if you want to. Now, I know some of you are from the tabletop community and you like close-ups. Nomad light horse archers, looking great. The Nomad horse archers, a great unit, which I'll talk about in a moment or two. Looking good. And the Cimmerian nobles. Okay. So yes, this is quite a straightforward list. I did have a look online. You can look at the TDC League from last season, how the armies did, and there were 2 players that took out this list, but they didn't do so well. So there was Division A and Division B. They both finished 7th, so it is quite a hard list to take out. They used allies, but with the allies you just get a few mixed bow units, infantry, and a few mixed bow cavalry, superior quality, that are expensive, and 1 heavy chariot, I think, which is expensive. I would just go with the Nomad horse archers. You get to take more of those out, and the light horse archers. These are the units that are going to do the damage. So personally, I wouldn't take allies. Now, these units are fantastic. If you've been following my videos, I do some top 10. I haven't done a top 10 video for a while. I might do 1 or 2. And these Nomad horse archers are in most periods, and they are fantastic because they're cavalry, but they can disrupt units from missile fire and get their flanks. They're very maneuverable. They're just very annoying, and they can quite quickly get disruptions on infantry or cavalry. So they're one of my favorite units, and the price did go up. When the game first came out, they were 36. Now they're 42, but they're still excellent, and they would be in my top 10, if not top 5 actually. Just a very cost-effective unit. And these light horse archers, maybe a touch, you could argue, a touch expensive, but they're also very dangerous because they're maneuverable, and they can also quickly get disruptions on all kinds of units. So really quite effective, these units. And then there's a debate. I mean, I've taken 2. I've just gone with more of the light horse archers, really. But in my original build, I had 4 of the nobles, because it's good to have a few superior quality cavalry units just for the charges, really, and once the horse archers have done the damage, your heavier units can pile in. So 3 or 4, so you might want to take, and 51's a pretty good price as well for superior quality cavalry, and it does have bow as well, so that's quite good. Now, how do we play with this list? Now, I'm actually quite good at horse archer lists. I think in the TDC last season, it might have been in Imperial, I took out a list with a lot of horse archers, and I did quite well. Actually, I think I won my division. So I am pretty good with these kind of armies, and there are a few principles really. Firstly, the main goal is you've got to split up the enemy line. So the enemy wants to stay organized, stay in a line. Generally, I split my forces up into at least 2, but you could have smaller groups if you wanted. And you just want to get the enemy out of its line and all split up. And normally as the battle progresses, that will happen anyway because of pursuits and charges and breaks and so on and so forth. That is going to happen. But to encourage that, you want to maybe have your light cav on the extreme flanks, and then your nomad horse archers a little bit more central, but not too much. You want to come at the enemy from different angles, confuse the enemy, and just get yourself into, because obviously you've got all cavalry. Most armies are going to be mixed with infantry. They're just not going to be as maneuverable, so you can get yourself into good positions quicker than the enemy, and that's what you want. You want to get the enemy to have units out of position where you can start flanking. This is what you've got to be thinking about. You've got to focus your fire. So obviously get units firing on one unit, and then when there's a cohesion test, if it holds, and there's different ways to do it, but you can move on to the next unit. That's when you're likely to get a disruption, or if the unit is going down to 75% combat strength, then you might well get another negative modifier, so then you can continue firing. So it's all about the what's going on in the game and where the unit is in terms of the combat strength. Light cavalry is excellent at breaking units, especially from mid-game on, because they're more maneuverable. So if you've fragmented something, even disrupted something, often these are the units that can get there first. Because they're just more maneuverable than your standard cav, so that you can charge these units into fragmented units and get your break. And often what will happen with cavalry heavy armies is the pursuits will lead to more flanks, more disruptions, more problems basically for the enemy, because you might well after a pursuit be behind the enemy line. So that is something to consider. Very dynamic armies. Counters. What are the counters for this kind of army? Well, you want mixed bow units, extra mixed bow or bowman units, more skirmishers. Skirmishers are very good against cavalry, and also maybe more cavalry. But you've got to be really careful, especially if you're a beginner, because probably your opponent's going to target your cavalry because it disrupts quite quickly when taking missile fire. So you've got to be careful. You've got to keep it quite close to your bowmen or infantry. Try to stay connected. And what is useful with cavalry is these horse archers will evade against most things. Once they evade, if you can plan it right or have a cavalry unit ready, you can often get rear charges. So depending on where that horse archer evades to, if you've got a good follow-up, your cavalry can get some good rear charges. So it is good to have a bit of cavalry available. So yeah, those are my main points. It is a hard list to use for beginners. If we're going to talk about a grade, it's going to be more in the C's. It might be maybe a C plus or something. I am probably going to give it a B minus, because with more experienced players it can be quite dangerous, I think, because a lot of the units in this period are lightly protected at best, and even unprotected. So against skirmishers, missile fire, light horse archers, nomad horse archers, you're going to get disruptions quite quickly. So can be quite dangerous. Yeah, so that's about it. I am going to say B minus. Let me know if you've taken out this army list. Let me know if you played against it. How did you counter this army? Did you take out extra bowmen? Did you take out extra cheap infantry? Some players also make long lines, so you're making it harder for your opponent to flank you. Different ways to play. Okay, so yeah, B minus from me. And let me know in the comments what you think. If you like the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you again soon.